engineering and science. IEEE was rated one of America's best mid-sized employers in Forbes in 2018. IEEE has been certified as a great place to work. IEEE received the When Work Works Award in 2016. IEEE is the trusted voice for engineering, computing, and technology information around the globe. IEEE-VIT comes under Bombay section. We are dedicated in conducting workshops and seminars on various domains. Adding to our accomplishments, IEEE-VIT has captured the IEEE Regional Exemplary Student Branch Award in the year 2020. We have our main flagship events, IRIS and Voyager, which will come soon up in March. We also conduct many such great events, which include competitions, seminar, IEEE Day. All of this are celebrated with great enthusiasm at IEEE-VIT. IRIS stands for Inspire, Resonate, Integrate, Succeed, which means to get inspired by the speakers, resonate with their thoughts, integrate them in our souls, and succeed in our lives. A series of inspirational talk resonating powerfully within the audience, integrating the advices and thoughts to walk towards success is here. IRIS 2021 was a huge success where our speakers stimulated our minds with their inspirational talks. Our speakers for IRIS 2021 included Mr. Alcatraz Day, author, biker, and life coach, author of 3 Amazon chartbusters, rode mountain bike from Kanyakumari to Kashmir in under 120 hours. Dr. Rajagopala Chidambaram, Indian physicist, awarded the prestigious Padma Shri and Padma Vibhushan, coordinated the test preparation for Pokhran 1 and Pokhran 2, known for India's nuclear weapons programs. Mr. Shronit Ladhani, entrepreneur and angel investor, president and CEO at AIEEE Mumbai, featured in BrainFit's 30 under 30 entrepreneurs of India. Mr. Yuvraj Valmiki, Indian field hockey player, the only Indian hockey player to play German Hockey League for 8 years consecutively, played 2014 Hockey World Cup for India. They made us believe that in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. So now it's 2022 and we are here with yet another series of resonating inspirational talks. Before I start the introduction for today's speaker, I would like to quote few lines which matches his personality very well. खेल हो या युद्ध, खेल हो या युद्ध, मैदान पर अपना खौफ होना चाहिए. सरहद पर खड़ा एक सिपाही और खेल के मैदान में एक खिलाड़ी हमेशा से तैयार होना चाहिए. These lines describe the person in front of us very well. His gallant efforts never cease to bring pride to the nation. He is none other than the Indian Army's first Iron Man. Today, we are proud to have Major General Vikram Dogra, who is the first serving Indian Army officer and the only general in the world to have successfully achieved the arduous Ironman Triathlon twice, which is a special feat in itself. He commissioned in Pune Halls and was awarded the Sword of Honor for being the best all-around cadet and the gold medal for passing out first in the order of merit. He made a record of Army cadet passing out who have got 6 medals. Major General Vikram Dogra is one of India's most decorated and respected Army generals. He served in the Indian Army for over 37 years. He was awarded Atit Vishisht Seva Medal by the President of India in 2019 to recognize his distinguished service of an exceptional order. He is a keen sportsman, fitness, and an adventure enthusiast. Also, he is chief mentor and star icon of Kho-Kho Federation India. He is a motivational TEDx and leadership speaker who uses examples from military history and his personal experience acquired in command of troops and tasks in India and abroad. Sir, we are very much privileged to have you here connected with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Karuna, for the introduction, and good evening, everybody. It's my privilege to be here and speak to all of you on a subject which is very, very close to my heart. And the topic, as you're aware, is the power of perseverance. And perseverance is that single factor that each one of you will need to be able to fulfill your dreams. Let me share my screen before I move ahead. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So the power of perseverance. And what is perseverance? Perseverance is the ability to keep trying and trying in the face of repeated setbacks. When you're running and you fall, it's easy to quit. But to get up every time you fall and to start running again is perseverance. And this perseverance, like I said, is the key for you to be able to chase your dreams. And each one of you out here have dreams or a number of dreams. Why am I not able to move my cursor? Yeah. So what is a dream? And let me define a dream in the words of our erstwhile president, Dr. Abdul Kalam. And he said that a dream is not something that you see when you sleep. A dream is something that doesn't let you sleep. You want it so desperately. You want it so passionately that when you lie in bed, you don't fall asleep. You're thinking, how will I realize my dream? And he also said, dream, dream, and dream. Because dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result into action. So what is it that you need to do if you want to make your dream come true? In my opinion, okay, before that, when you have a dream, a lot of people ask me, I have a dream, will my dream come true? You have this question that will I be able to achieve what I want to? Is it in my capability? Shall I try it? For them, I want to give these questions, 6 questions, which you must ask yourself. And if the answer to your questions is yes, then your dream is likely to come true. And the first question is it really my dream? The dreams that we have or the dreams that we want to chase, are they your dreams? Many people start chasing dreams of what the expectation of others is of them. Maybe your parents expect you to become something or chase some dream. It might be their dream that you're chasing. You may be chasing the dream of what your friends are chasing. The same dream as your friends are chasing, you want to chase the same dream. So you must be clear that, is it my dream? Because only if it is your dream will that passion in chasing it come, which will not let you sleep at night. Do you want it desperately? Will realizing my dream bring me satisfaction? Do I have a strategy to chase my dream? Is there a plan in place? Are the factors which are required for me to look at or address in my control? And the last question you must ask yourself is, am I willing to pay the price? And here the price may be in terms of money, in terms of your time, in terms of effort to chase your dream. And like I mentioned, if the answer to all these questions is yes, then there's a good chance that your dream will come true. So like I was saying, what is it that you need to do to start chasing your dream? And there are 2 things that you must have before you start. And the first one is, you must know where you're going. You must know what your dream is. Because unless you know your destination, there is no way that you will get any direction towards it. Even a GPS only gives you direction when you feed in a destination. So find out what is your dream. There should be no confusion in your mind, and there should be no ambiguity whether it's this or it's this. What is my dream? That must be clear. And you must have self-belief. You must believe in yourself that you have the confidence that your abilities are there to be able to make this dream come true. Once these two things are put into place, now I'll share 5 simple steps which you can take to make your dream come true. And the first step I want to tell you is to make a clear mental picture of your dream and note it down in a diary. And if there is somebody who's your idol, somebody like whom you want to be, take their photograph and also paste it in the diary. And every morning when you wake up, I want you to look at your dream, refresh it, read it, and also look at your idol. And there's a science behind why I'm telling you to do this. I'll give you an example how it works. When you go to buy a car, you carry out a market survey and you look at a number of cars which are available and you decide which car you want to buy. Thereafter, you realize every fifth or sixth car that you see on the road is the same model. And you start wondering, what happened? Did everybody buy the same car? No, that's not true. Those cars were always there. It's just that now, since you have decided to buy that car, it's come to the forefront in your mind and you are noticing these cars. In the same manner, when you refresh your dream every day and you look at your idol every day, subconsciously both your mind and your body are going to start working to get you closer to your dream. Now, the dream that you're going to chase is not a small dream. Otherwise, it won't be a dream. If it was something that you could get immediately, then it won't be a dream. So it's something really big, something that's going to take you time. And I want you to divide this long journey towards your dream into smaller goals. And to each goal, you must give a timeline. I'll try and explain this with an example. If I ask you all, how many people out here can sketch Shah Rukh Khan using just one paper and a pencil, the way he's made out here? And I'm confident that unless you are an artist, you won't be able to do it. But if I ask the same people, how many of you can draw one single gray square using a paper and a pencil? I'm confident 100% people are going to raise their hand and say, yes, we can do it. Because it's simple, one simple gray square. And if you can draw one of these squares, then you can draw 2 squares. You can draw 4 squares. You can draw 20 squares, 40 of them, and you keep drawing square after square till you put them together and you get Shah Rukh Khan. And if Shah Rukh Khan is considered to be the big dream which I speak of, and each gray square is the goal that you have divided your dream into, and you give it a timeline, as you go from goal to goal and put them together, that's the way you have to go when you are going to chase your dream. Keep achieving goal after goal, keeping in mind the timeline that you have given, and soon you'll be there at your dream. Okay, having done that, I want you to exert positive pressure. Now, what is positive pressure? Let me explain it with an example. If you have a group of friends, all of who are like-minded, they are focused, they are chasing a dream, then the vibes that you get from this group are going to be positive pressure because those vibes push you towards chasing your dreams. They are a catalyst for you to chase your dream also because of the company you have. That is positive pressure. It's pressure because they're chasing your dream. You're also pressurized to chase a dream, but it's positive pressure. On the other hand, if you have a group of friends who are not chasing a dream and who are not focused, then there is no positive pressure that they're exerting on you to chase your dream. So try and exert positive pressure so that you have a catalyst to help you move forward. In this journey that you're going to cover, the long journey, you will need to do things which are difficult, things that you are not used to doing, things which are outside your comfort zone. And for those people who find it difficult to take on new challenges or do new things, I will recommend the 21-day rule. You must use the 21-day rule, which says that if you were to undertake any activity for 21 days consecutively, it becomes a habit. So like there are a number of people who say we are not morning people. We can't wake up early in the morning. I tell them, try waking up early for 21 days consecutively, and I can assure you on the 22nd day, you will want to wake up early. So try the 21-day rule. It works well. And the last point I want to tell you all is that be prepared to fail. Yes, most important, because every dream doesn't come true. And if you are prepared to fail, then when you fail, you will not be so dejected. You are prepared to fail. You will be you will be sad. That's normal. But since you're prepared, you will take 2 steps back. You will introspect. You will see where you went wrong. You will make a new plan as to how you can do it better, and then go about chasing your dream once again. But if you are not prepared to fail, you might be so upset and so dejected that you just give up on your dream. And in this entire journey, you must thank God for everything that you have, for everything around you, because that positivity of prayer acts as a catalyst and will galvanize you towards your dream. Now, I'm going to share my dream with you. I had a dream too. And my dream was to do the Ironman when I was 58 years of age. For those of you who don't know what an Ironman event is, it's the most difficult one-day endurance event in the world. It has 3 sub-events where you have to swim 3.86 kilometers, either in the sea or in a lake. Thereafter, you have to cycle 180 kilometers. And in this 180 kilometers, you gain an altitude of about 5,000 to 6,000 feet, which means you're going uphill most of the time. And then you have to run a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers. And all 3 of these events have to be done in the sequence which I've listed out, one after the other, and completed within 17 hours. And if you do that, then you are Ironman. So this was my dream. And when I shared my dream with people around me, everybody whom I shared it with would tell me, don't do it. They would discourage me from doing it. They would give different reasons that you'll suffer a heart attack, you might die, it's not your age to do this. And why I'm sharing this with you is because when you share your dream with people around you, they will also discourage you. Most people you share your dream will discourage you. And I want you to disregard their advice like I did. And I'll give you the techniques which I used and how I went about going towards my dream. After this, I'll show you a small video of this event called the Ironman so that you can see what the event is like. And then I'll tell you the challenges that I faced to train for it and what you can take away from my journey. I'm going to show a video. Please confirm that you can hear the audio. Can you hear the audio? Hello?
No, sir.
You couldn't hear the audio?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'll have to reshare my screen. Just hang on, please. Okay. Now confirm, please. Is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
The title, Ironman.
So when you have a dream and you share it with the people around you and they discourage you, remember what I told you. Anything is possible, and however difficult or however ridiculously impossible your dream may seem, don't give it up. It's your dream. If you don't try, nobody else will let you. So go for your dream. Now, the challenges that I faced when I was preparing for this dream. The first challenge that I faced was the mental challenge. And why the mental challenge? Because, like I said, everybody around you is discouraging you. They're giving you different reasons. So much so that you start doubting your own capability. I began to also wonder, can I do it? Everybody's saying, don't do it, you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. Can I do it? So I needed to start by first convincing myself that I can do it. That self-belief which I spoke to you about, that was essential for me to start with. And I started by convincing myself that yes, if I work on it, I can do it. Then came the next challenge, which was the physical challenge, where I had to start training for this event. And that was the physical part of it where I needed to swim 3.8 kilometers, I needed to cycle 180 kilometers, then run 42.2 kilometers and do them one after the other. And I had never swum 3.8 kilometers. I had never run 42 kilometers. And now I needed to do them one after the other. So that was the next challenge that I faced. Thereafter, I had a job which kept me away from home for about 10 hours a day. And time management was a big challenge. I needed to, therefore, from the balance 14 hours, carve out a out of the box schedule where I could then pick out time to train. Now, out of the 14 hours, I needed to eat, sleep. That would take away, sleep would be at least 8 hours because you need to sleep well to recoup after all the tiring training you've done, which left me with 6 hours. And in that 6 hours, I needed to train and eat and whatever else I do in my life. So this was a huge challenge, and I'll talk more about it later. Then came the weather and the equipment. Now, the weather where I'm located in Delhi in summer months touches 43 degrees, the temperatures. There's pollution, there's traffic on the roads, and I had to cycle on the roads for practice. So these were the challenges as far as the weather was concerned. And then the equipment that I needed is not manufactured in India. It's all imported. So you need to pick up something online or just pick up whatever is available here in the shops. And why I'm sharing these challenges is because you will also face challenges, but don't let these challenges become excuses for you to give up on your dreams. We must find ways around our challenges. We must find answers to the challenges. The next challenge that I faced was the social challenge, where because I had only 6 hours left, if you remove the sleep in which I had to train, I had no time to socialize. And therefore, I had to sacrifice on my social life. I also had to make sacrifices on my family life. And these two are very important aspects. And you'll have to see how much you can sacrifice because it's all about how much you sacrifice. What you sacrifice here in terms of your time and effort is going to be given to what your dream is, the dream that you're chasing. That's where this time and this effort is going to be utilized. So it's a matter of sacrifice. Now, what are the takeaways for you? Let's go through them. I spoke about positive pressure, and I'm going to share the technique which I use to exert positive pressure on myself. When I started my training, 3 to 4 weeks into my training, I realized that the training is going to be really, really difficult. It's going to be long. And I also came to understand that I might be tempted to quit, but I didn't want to quit. So in order to prevent myself from quitting, I took to public pledging. I went to social media and I announced that I'm going to do Ironman. Now, when I did that, I put at stake my reputation, my name, my esteem. Everything was there now. Because if now I quit, after having announced it to the world, all those people who had discouraged me would say, see, we told you, he can't do it. He's just talking big. So when I publicly pledged, in a way, I trapped myself. I cut off all windows of escape. So much so that on race day, I told my wife, I will die doing the event, but I will not quit. So that's the kind of positive pressure that public pledging can generate. It worked very well for me because every day when I trained, I used to curse myself and I wanted to quit. But I didn't quit because I had publicly pledged. Next, you have to get used to stepping out of your comfort zone. Nothing big has ever been achieved by anybody in life by sitting in the comfort zone. So make up your mind that yes, when a difficult situation comes my way, I will not procrastinate. I will not push it aside for a later day. I will take it on immediately. I must learn to step out of my comfort zone, even if you are stepping out of your comfort zone to do small things. But when you get into the habit, when you start doing them again and again, it'll become a habit to step out of your comfort zone. So then whenever even a difficult task comes up, you'll be there stepping out of your comfort zone to take it on. Commitment and focus. Once you have decided that you're going to chase your dream, then you must give it your 100%. 360-degree commitment. And here I'm reminded of Salman Khan's dialogue कि मैंने एक बार commitment कर दी तो फिर मैं अपनी भी नहीं सुनता. That's the kind of commitment you have to do. And then focus all your effort, energy, time, resources, everything to chase your dream. And this is where we come to perseverance. Because I told you that perseverance is that one single factor which will make the difference between make and break. If you persevere and you keep trying and work hard to chase your dream, it will come true. And along with perseverance, you must be patient. And I'll tell you how to learn patience. I want you to learn patience from flowing water. Visualize a stream of water that's flowing. And you put something in its path. What happens? The water stops to flow and it starts to rise. And it rises to the point where it comes to the top of what is blocking it and begins to flow again. So what happened? The water was flowing. It's moving towards wherever it has to go. Somebody blocked it. It persevered and it was patient, kept persevering till it reached the top of the obstacle and then started to flow again. There was no anger, no turmoil, no anxiety. Now, when you are chasing your dream, there will be people who will block you. There will be situations that will block you, which are out of your control, and you will face such situations all your life. Remember what I told you about water. Don't get angry. Don't let it upset you. Persevere till you come above whatever is blocking you and then start on your journey again. So perseverance and patience go hand in glove and are, like I said, the key factor between make and break. You will also need patience because when you are working so hard day after day, night after night, the results will not come easy. They take time. And because they take time, you might get frustrated that I'm working so hard, I can't see the results. There again, patience will play a big part in keeping you going. Next is time management, and I spoke about it earlier. Now, out of those 6 hours, which I said I had left, and I needed to take out time to eat and do everything for my daily life and train. So what I did was I came up with a out of the box solution. I was in a job which had a 5-day week, and those 5 days I would get back home at about 6 in the evening. Saturdays and Sundays were off. So when I would get back, I would change and then go for a run from 7 at night to 10 o'clock at night. And I would do this thrice a week, run from 7 to 10. And 2 days of the week, I would use to swim, 7 to 10. And cycling, which required the longest amount of time. Now, just to give you an idea of how much time is required to swim and run, a swim of 3.8 kilometers will be between 1 to 2 hours. Running 42 kilometers is between 4 to 5 hours. But cycling 180 kilometers is between 6 to 7 hours. So there was no way I could do it on a working day. I would do that on the weekend, on a Saturday night, when everybody else was partying, where I had sacrificed that social life of mine, which I told you about. I would go onto the expressway between Noida and Greater Noida, which is out here outside Delhi, and cycle 180 kilometers from 2 o'clock on a Saturday night to 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And by cycling at night, I could overcome the challenges of the heat, the pollution, and the traffic, because all these are less at night. And that's why I cycled at night. Although cycling at night is dangerous, and there were times when I almost fell asleep on my bike, but then you need to have the discipline to do what you have to do because it's your dream. And therefore, I come to the next point of self-discipline. And I equate this self-discipline to self-love. If you love yourself, then you will do whatever it takes to make your dream come true. You know, there are people who want to lose weight and they keep giving excuses that I'm very busy. I can't go to the gym because I don't have the time. I'm working so hard. Well, who's losing out? You are, so you remain overweight. But if you love yourself, then whatever it takes, you will find the time, whether it's at night, whether it's in the morning or whenever, because it's your dream. You want to lose weight, and if you don't do it, nobody else is going to help you do it. So it's very important that you have the discipline to put in that effort in the manner and at the time required or available to make your dream come true. Now, in this long journey, you are very exuberant when you start, but as time passes and you are working day after day, night after night, results are not showing, you start losing out on optimism. You start getting low on your morale. You wonder, I'm working so hard, nothing is happening. Will my dream ever come true? People around you are telling you, you're crazy, this is never going to happen. You'll never achieve what you want to achieve. So to make sure that you get out of this, the technique of visualization and self-talk are two techniques that I used. There are many other techniques, but I'll talk of these two. Before that, you must understand that everybody has got days when they start feeling low. You may be a sports person, you may be a performer, you will have low days. But the difference between a good athlete and an ordinary person is their ability to bounce back. You don't allow this low morale to last for a long time. You must get back quickly. And for that, I used to visualize my success. I used to visualize how I would feel when I completed the Ironman. I would visualize myself running down the red carpet, the crowd applauding, my name being announced, and that would give me goosebumps and bring my morale up. I would also do something called self-talk, where you speak to yourself and you tell yourself things like, you can do it. You will come out strongest. You are the best. And this self-talk generates positivity within you. You don't realize it, but you would have seen a lot of athletes talking to themselves when they're playing a game on television. When you see them, they say something to themselves. Well, they're doing self-talk. So try this. It enhances your optimism. Your dream must be big. How big? It should be so big that people laugh at you. When you share your dream, they ridicule you. That's how big your dream should be. And in this chasing of your dream, self-belief, which I told you was a starting point, must be there throughout. Don't start doubting your ability to achieve your dream because it's your dream. You have set about on the journey to achieve it in a planned manner. I've given you a plan as to how to go about to make a plan to chase your dream. Plan that out. Find out what your goals are, how much effort is required, how much time you want to give to each goal. So chase it. Compete only with yourself. Don't look around you and start competing with other people who are chasing the same dream. They may be going faster than you. Their takeoff level may be higher. They may be able to invest more time and energy. They may be smarter than you. So make your own goals, your own time plan, and then only look inwards to see how you must be able to complete your goals in the given time frame. So compete within. And the last point I want to share with you is that age is only a number. You are never too late or never too early in life to do anything. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise and discourage you. Because people around you, for whatever their reasons are, will tell you otherwise. They will discourage you. So if you look at what I have told you, the way to make a plan, and then persevere, be patient, remain focused, and be consistent, then I can assure you that when you start chasing your dream, it'll come true. I have come to the end of my talk. If there are any questions, we'll take them on. I've also shared out here my Instagram handle, Vikram Dogra 17. I will request you to follow me and ask me any questions that you may have. after the talk is over, which we can't cover out here. Something may come to your mind later. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll take on the question answers. Okay. Hello, Karuna, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I can't see you.
Can you see me now, sir?
No, I can't. Now I can. Yes, let's take on the questions.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to ask me the questions or they're going to ask them themselves, or what's the procedure?
Sir, I'll ask you the questions. Those are in the chat box.
Go ahead.
The first question from Hirsch is Ironman challenge difficult than Hell Week in probation period of Special Forces?
Have you been through the Special Forces Probation Week, or you just read about it in some comics? So every challenge is different. And if you remember in the beginning, I told you that the Ironman is the most difficult one-day event in the world. Now, Hell Week is a week. So if I were to make you do an Ironman every day for 1 week, nobody can do it. So that means nobody would pass. So if you were to compare two things, you must be on an even platform. 7 days of Ironman, 7 days of Hell Week, Ironman is more difficult.
Thank you, sir. Next question from Ishak is, there are some days when we feel demotivated and we think about giving up. Did this ever happen to you? And so, if so, how did you tackle it? We would like to
So
know.
this happens all the while. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. And like I told you in my example, that everybody feels low. How do you tackle it? I'll tell you how I tackled it. And I explained it to you in the talk. I will now emphasize on what I did. So I used two techniques. One was to make sure that I start feeling uh, my morale. I made sure that I could bring my morale up. That was one part. And second, by publicly pledging, I made sure that there was no way I could quit. I couldn't afford to quit because everybody knew that I'm doing the Ironman. I had announced it that I'm going to do the Ironman. And so now if I quit, then my reputation and my name and everything else would be dented. So that was like, there was no window for me to escape. I wanted to quit. Every day when I trained, I cursed myself for getting into it and I wanted to quit. But because I had publicly pledged, I didn't allow myself to quit. There was no way. To get my morale up, I told you visualization and self-talk. These are the two techniques that I used, and you try these out. They work well. These are established techniques and everybody around the world uses these techniques whenever you feel low. If you are feeling low in whatever you are doing, start looking at how you will feel when that whatever you are doing happens, whether it's an examination, whether you are cracking, joining a new job, or you're just trying to make a new friend, or whatever is your dream. When you succeed, you must imagine how you'll feel, and that helps to bring your morale up. So try these techniques.
Okay, sir. Next question from Kinari is, sir, what is your most memorable incident while being in the army for over 37 years?
There are a whole lot of them, but there are two events which are the most memorable for me. The first was the day when I passed out of the Indian Military Academy to become an officer. That was on 19th of December 1981. And I passed out of the Indian Military Academy with a Sword of Honor and the gold medal and 4 more medals. And I also met my present wife there in the academy. So that was like, one big occasion for me where not only did I pass out right on top, but I also met my future wife. That time I didn't know, of course, but so it is most memorable day. And the second most memorable day for me was the day when I retired, 31st of January 2019. The last day in the service. You have the normal ceremonies of farewells at your workplace, and by afternoon, you come back home. And that night, my wife had organized a party for me where I came down in my uniform for the last time. There were about 90 odd people out there in our house. And I cut a cake with my sword. And for the last time, ceremoniously, I took off my uniform. So that was again a very, very nostalgic moment for me. So these 2 days on my joining and my retirement were the two memorable days in my life. If you go onto my Instagram, you will see photographs and small reels of both these days out there.
So the next question is, what is the role of engineers in defense sector and what are the future expectations from us as engineers in order to develop it?
So engineer is a very broad term, and there are many different disciplines in engineering. And in the army, majorly the kind of engineers that we have are of three types. One are the civil engineers who work on building the buildings, the roads, the bridges, and stuff like that. And then you have the electronic engineers who deal with your communication and whether it's communication on wireless or communication on landlines and those kind of stuff. So all your communication and your cyber security and stuff like that. And then you have the engineers who repair all the equipment that you have. So repair of vehicles, repair of the electronic equipment that you have, radars and the works. I mean, there is a plethora of equipment. So there is a big role of engineers in the armed forces. And I would say almost 1/4 of the armed forces is made up of these engineering guys.
So the next question is, what inspired you to get into the army?
My father was in the army and he fought the three wars. That is the 1962 war with China, then again the 65 war with Pakistan, the 71 war with Pakistan. And I saw all that happening as a young child. I used to see him in his uniform, his going to work and the environment around me. And so from the time when I was just about 4 or 5, I hadn't made up my mind that I'm going to join the army. Therefore, when I was in the 11th, I had appeared for the NDA, cleared it, did my SSB, and the day my class 11 finished, a month later, I was in the National Defense Academy, and that began my journey for being in the armed forces, which went over 41 years.
So the next question from Karthik is, sir, how much was the military discipline influential in the sports you participated in?
Well, military discipline is institutional discipline to stand at attention or to wear the right clothes or to wake up early. So I think every person in whichever field you are disciplined, because unless you are a disciplined human being, you cannot be successful in any aspect of life. If you're not a disciplined student, you will never do well. If you're not a disciplined business person, you will never do well in your business. So to say that the army discipline helped me is not what helped me, but self-discipline, which the army helps you imbibe and which every profession actually demands of you, is what will see you through and will be the difference. Because, like I said, you are chasing stuff which is difficult, and therefore you are doing it for yourself. It's your dream. And if you're not disciplined and it's not your love for yourself, then it won't happen. So army does help me a lot because it gave me the versatility, it gave me the mental strength, it taught me how to step out of my comfort zone. But the discipline which you speak of is self-discipline. That is what helped me. Otherwise, the other discipline, we have it everywhere.
So Amira Sen is asking, few Asian countries have mandatory military services. Do you think India too should start such a system?
Which are these countries?
Asian countries.
So I must tell you that military service has been discontinued in most countries. Even the Americans used to have military service. It's no more there. And military service is mandated because people don't want to join the army or there are not enough people in the army. And so you start military service for everybody, like Israel. Everybody does military service and then is on reserve because they are under constant threat from the people around them. So it is not something which is a good way to go about either for the military or for the civilians. So I am not for military service. But what was the second part of the question?
That do you think India should start such system?
No way. No way. Because what would be the aim of starting military service? The military is an organization to defend the country. It is not an organization to instill discipline into people. That you join the army, then you learn something from it for 2 years and then take off and you start your own stuff. So you are not a play school out here or an academy to train people. You can make different institutions for that. If you want to instill discipline in people, if you want them to acquire some skills, do it. It doesn't benefit the army for people to come for 2 years, learn something, and before you can make use of them, they leave. It's of no good.
So the next question from Sachin is, can you share your experiences while being in UN peacekeeping forces?
UN peacekeeping forces is a totally different experience because especially at a time when I went in the year 1996. And that was a time in India where internet had just about come in, but it was not at all, uh, available. So we had no exposure of the rest of the world. Uh, we were very, very isolated in India. Even cable TV had started only a few years ago. Now we were launched from that kind of environment into an international environment where we were to operate with about 35 countries, soldiers and officers coming in. It was also a great opportunity where I got to work side by side with people from Pakistan, officers and men from Pakistan, who were actually, you look at them only through the barrel of your gun. And all the time you are at the borders facing each other. Here you're working side by side for a common cause. So from the experience part of it, this was one aspect. Then you were in a country which had been at war from up to 1975. And that's the time when the Portuguese left. I was in Angola, and Angola was a Portuguese colony. They left in 1975. And since then, it had been at civil war. One faction being supported by the US and the other faction being supported by the erstwhile USSR. And both these countries were supporting these factions, not for any other reason, but so that their arms would sell and they would be able to pull out wealth from the country. So the game was totally different. And here now you were launched in the middle of all this to ensure that these people who were fighting amongst themselves, that's the Angolans, were fighting amongst themselves. You were to maintain peace because ceasefire had been brought about. And our job was to make sure that there were no violations. So it was a very, very dangerous zone to be in. There were landmines in Angola, 10 million of them, which were not accounted for. So nobody knew where the mines were. And you would find almost 10% of Angolans were without one leg because they'd stepped on the mine somewhere. Therefore, you had to be very careful when you were driving your cars or you were going somewhere not to step on mines. Of course, it's not in the middle of the town, but my job was not in the town. Our job was in the countryside where you had to look at where the warring factions were in communication with each other. So the job was very exciting. It was dangerous, but it was good fun. And it was, like I said, the exposure that we got was international in 1996. So the entire experience was very unique and something that every officer and Jawan sought for at that time. Even now, people are very, very keen to go on a UN mission.
Sir, could you tell us more about the support that that you received from your family during the entire training program or the entire training period?
Yeah. Now my family has one wife and two children, and my father, who's going to turn 100 this year. My wife never once discouraged me. And when I told her I'm going to do the Ironman, she said, go right ahead. So that was good support. My sons, they think their father's crazy. So they never even said do it or either don't do it. So like my elder son is now 31, he's in Google. So he never said once do it or not do it. My younger son is 25, aspiring actor, never said do it or don't do it. So there was no, really no support or lack of support out there. They were like, go ahead, do what you want to do. My dad was a little worried, who said that be careful, you might get a heart attack, don't overexert, be cautious. So now, having said that, this was the initial reaction. But when I was to go running every day from 7 at night to 10 o'clock, I was on a mission, but it was my wife who was suffering this funny schedule of coming back from work, then going for a run. Dinner at 11 o'clock at night. Saturday night, 2 o'clock, I would start cycling, means I would leave the house at 1 at night. Come back at 9:30 in the morning. She would be worried that I hope he's not better than accident because you're cycling on an expressway at night. So she was the one who went through all the turmoil, but she did not once tell me don't do it or, that you are troubling me or it's bothering me. So I had great support from her.
So what message you would like to give to the youth of the country?
My message to each one of you and to anybody else who watches is that you must dream and you must have a big dream. Don't let anybody discourage you. Your dream, you must make a plan, like I explained to you. You must commit yourself and then work hard and realize your dream. Because if you don't follow your dream, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
So, thank you so much, sir, for making us understand the importance of determination and perseverance as they are the keys to success. I'm sure each one of us will try to follow the 21 days plan of action as said by you, and they will try to succeed in their lives by following that and not saying that I can't do or I cannot wake up early in the morning. I'm sure they all will instill this from this webinar, from this talk. Now, I would like to invite upon the committee's chairperson, Ms. Shefali, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Karuna. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to enlighten us with your words of wisdom. I'm sure that the knowledge that you have imparted today will be instrumental in becoming individuals that give back to the society. I, on behalf of the committee IEEE-VIT, thank the entire audience for attending the webinar and hope that you all have benefited from this experience. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months ago. We are fortunate enough to have dedicated student volunteers that put in constant efforts so that IEEE-VIT can bring in more events like these. Lastly, I would request the audience to please fill up the feedback forms so that we can dispatch your certificates soon. We would be happy to hear any suggestions that come in. With this, we hereby close IRIS 2022. Thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you in our next flagship event in March, which is Voyager. Thank you once again, and please have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Shefali, and thank you, Karuna. And thank you, everybody, for being patient and listening and asking interesting questions. And if you have any other questions later, you are, like I said, get onto my Instagram, Vikram Dogra 17, and send me a message. See you guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, sir.